Hello, my name is Ashley Foster. I am running as your Republican nominee for Bexar County District Attorney. And the question, I think that was at the beginning, is why are we running? Sir, you and your initiative is the exact reason why I'm running. The city of San Antonio, Bexar County, is, as you described earlier, in a disastrous mess. We have massive crime on the streets. We have you walk downtown and you have to clutch your handbag because you're afraid that someone's going to steal it from you. And even worse, if you don't have a handbag, you're afraid somebody's going to clutch you. That is absolutely ridiculous. We have a beautiful city. We have a beautiful community, but we also have rampant crime that needs to be contained and contained now. There have been district attorney after district attorney who has not helped us get that crime contained. And what I mean to say by that is, time is of the essence. Enough is enough. We're no longer going to be slapping criminals on the wrist and letting them go. There seems to be some sort of atmosphere in the criminal courthouse and in the criminal justice system that once a defendant enters it, he becomes the victim. We need to be looking out for him and for his best interest. And what seems to be missing is what's going on with the victims themselves. Victims will always come first in my office. Secondly, we're going to prosecute individuals aggressively, and we're going to be prepared for their cases so that we don't get dismissal after dismissal, not guilty after not guilty, that we once again will be putting individuals who commit violent crimes exactly where they need to be, and that is in prison. And finally, the last thing we're going to do is look at the results and not excuses. And we're not going to mess with the metrics and worry about this. And if it doesn't fit the persona that I want to put out there, then I'm going to make it up or change the parameters. The truth will be told as we go through this experience, so that no longer do you have to worry, are these the actual statistics that are going on in Bexar County? Yes, they will be the exact statistics, and I'll be able to stand behind them because I'm going to be proud of them, because my prosecutors will be trained, they will know what they're doing, and they will consistently produce what they should be producing. I, for myself, I've been an attorney for 25 years. I was a prosecutor for over 11 of those years. I worked in the white-collar crime division and violent crimes. I've looked in the faces of individuals who've stolen from businesses and who have been sent to prison because of that. I've looked in the eyes and cross-examined and fought right up against murderers, child rapists, predators, people who have injured the elderly. I've got absolutely no issues whatsoever with taking on the thugs that are here in Bexar County now, threatening our community. I want to see our kids be able to go back to the parks. I want to see them be able to play. I don't want to see their mothers worrying about them so much. I'd like to see them maybe possibly be able to pick up a book and read the book as their child is in the park, rather than having to keep eyes on them the entire time because they're terrified of what's going to go on in San Antonio. That's going to end. It's going to stop. We're going to get with the police. We're going to back the police once again, and we're going to form a coalition that protects Bexar County and puts the violent criminals in prison where they belong. Anybody have any questions?
I do. So in Bexar County, it's obviously a countywide race for district attorney. Yes. What's the major distinction between the current district attorney and you, what you will be enforcing the law on and prosecuting on?
Well, I'd like to answer that question sort of in a twofold way. Number one, the current district attorney, he's leaving. So while attacking him is all well and good, there's actually no purpose to it. He's gone. I will be the fresh new voice. With my two opponents, if you'd like to look at that, one of my opponents right now has absolutely, she's the Democratic opponent, has absolutely no trial experience whatsoever, meaning that she has never first chaired a trial of any kind, not a civil trial, and certainly not a criminal trial. And I can't begin to see the audacity of somebody stepping into the role of district attorney, not knowing what those frontline prosecutors are going to have to go through every day. How in the world can they look to her for advice and explanation, or just for a morale boost, momentum, when she has absolutely no idea what they're going to be going through? I have gone through every part of that district attorney, from misdemeanor to, like I said, white collar, to violent crime. I know what it means to sit in the places, in the chairs, and fight as a prosecutor. And that is a distinction. And the other distinction is, I'm not taking this as a joke. No part of this campaign am I doing because I need, for myself, to have some narcissistic fantasy fulfilled. I'm not kidding around. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to get publicity for myself for some other reason. I'm quite serious about this. I've grown up in San Antonio. My heart is in San Antonio, and I want to protect your family as I will protect my own.
Jack, ask your question real quick.
Mr. Finger.
We send crooks to prison,
Yes, sir.
only to have them get out early because of the overcrowding there.
Well, I think the prison and the jail are two different things. And I
Well, the
think,
jail.
are you thinking about the jail? Here's the thing. As soon as you can try the cases and get those individuals convicted, they move on to the prison. So in my administration, we're going to attack the cases aggressively and quickly, so they don't languish in the jail and overcrowd the jail. What I can do for my part with regard to that as district attorney is get those cases tried and get them moved on to the prison. Do you understand? Does that make sense to you?
Do we need a bigger jail?
Listen, we've got a ton of problems with the jail. First of all, the jail now serves as one of the largest mental health facilities there is in Bexar County. And while I have absolutely no issues whatsoever for putting violent criminals away in prison forever, I don't think you treat people with genuine mental incapacities in the same regard. I think those people need to be funneled out and put in a secure, but a separate secure location where they can actually get the help that they need, because those people are the same people who deserve to be in jail. Jail, and therefore prison, is for people who are jail, this is specifically as a jail, awaiting their trials, and B, those individuals who have been convicted and then are waiting to go to prison. So that's for people who are waiting for trial, or criminals who are moving on to prison. That's not for individuals who actually have mental incapacities that need to be addressed by an entire different system. What I can also tell you about our jail is that it's ridiculously old, and as we move towards the future, it either needs a complete overhaul or a brand new jail to be built, and there's no two ways about it, because San Antonio's population is growing exponentially, and with that, crime. And we cannot be served, as you can see now, Sheriff Salazar is doing a horrendous job with that jail right now. There is no one who could argue differently. If you simply base it on the number of deaths every day in that jail, and while I am all for punishing criminals to the highest extent of the law, I don't think anybody should be dying in our jail. I think that has completely to do with the person who's turned a blind eye to the problems, and the city council who's turned commissioner's court who's turned a blind eye to the problems and doesn't want to address those issues. As you can see from the last commissioner's court meeting, where Grant Moody was the only individual who was willing to stand up and fight for what's coming up next, and the others chose to just table the issue and kick that can down the road to the rest of us later, wasting more and more of our tax dollars. And speaking of which, that's one other thing that the district attorney does that I don't know that you all know. While I have had 11 years as a prosecutor, my additional time as a lawyer has been as a civil attorney. And what the district attorney's office is the head civil attorney for all of Bexar County. So all of the, and Patrick, you're in this as well, as for all of the contracts that come through, I am, and my office is responsible for looking at those contracts, making sure they're legal, and if they're a complete and utter waste of our time, looking at if there are ways, if that's what the commissioner's court wants to do, if there are ways that we can maybe get ourselves out of those contracts, legally of course, because we don't need to be spending and wasting another dollar here in Bexar County.
Amen. Thank you very much. Ashley, how do people get in touch with you?
The easiest way is to go to my website. Ashley, you can just look up Ashley Foster for DA, AF4DA, and that's AF, the number 4DA.com. I mean, there are several different ways, but really, if you just Google my name, I'm gonna pop up.
Bob, do you have a quick question?
I just, a suggestion.
Yes, please.
I know that we wanna reduce crime, but one of the things if you might wanna buffer that with another coalition, and the coalition would be economic development. You're not gonna have, economic development if you don't have a safe city.
Amen.
I
You know,
agree
so,
with you.
so I think you maybe,
But that is actually not under the purview, not
No.
that I wanna disagree with you, I will work hand in hand with anyone who wants to better this community, and I agree with you 100%. But as a district attorney, there's only so much I can do with
Sure.
regard to that, and so many resources that are allocated. And that is absolutely why the district attorney needs to be able to work with other individuals and work with a competent commissioners court to install those very programs to help those individuals.
and all I'm saying is that if you could say, tie it into your message, not so much, ask for them to support you, but build that into your message. San Antonio is a hospitality town,
Absolutely.
so.
And if
with-
you can't walk downtown without
can't.
being worried about it, we're losing out on tourism and we're gonna be
Exactly.
even further
And
down
that's
the
another
hole.
reason why I need a safe city,
I can't agree with you more.
and that's what I would suggest.
Thank you so much, I appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Ashley.